Joey got the popcorn ready. Alex got the notes in hand. Tim's got puns that fly like confetti. They're your go-to movie band. Video Game Movie Club. Laugh until the credits roll. Joey Alex, Tim will dub. Scenes that make you lose control.
Hello, welcome back to Cutscenes, where each episode we take a look at some form of media that is video game adjacent, normally based on a video game. In this case, we are looking at 1994's Street Fighter the movie. It is a movie starring Jean-Claude Van Damme, Raul Julia, Damien Chapa, and Kylie Minogue. Joey, you have your hand up already.
Street Fighter 2 is 35 years old this Saturday.
Wow. Amazing.
If you've listened to today's gaming, just dating the episode, if you've listened to today's release of Gaming Views, it's all about Street Fighter 2 and its 35th anniversary.
Incredible. Alex,
So
you've also
listen to
raised your
that.
hand.
Tim, who are we?
We are Game Club Pod. I am Tim, there is Alex, and there is Joey.
I'm
Fucking
also
fired
Dalsim.
straight in there like, this is what we're doing today.
So, directed by Stephen E. D'Souza. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, probably not. Street Fighter the movie came out to not much fanfare. Street Fighter obviously very popular, Street Fighter 2 in particular, which this film is based on, and I'm using the word based on very loosely. IMDb has it as a 4.1. Letterboxd has it as about a 2 out of 5. 4.1 out of 10, I should probably say, just for clarity. But I want to know your guys' thoughts, and I want to start off with Joey.
I really, 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 really wanted to hate this film. So I did. No, I didn't. I actually thought it was quite fun. It was so stupid, and Jean-Claude Van Damme is shite in it, despite being the main character. He is so bad, but it gave me a bit of a Starship Troopers vibe, and I was like, once that clicked to me, I was like, I think I'm kind of in here. There are definitely holes. Lots of holes. I think basically this is a Swiss cheese of a movie. So many holes, they go all the way through. And they definitely didn't take the approach of other fighting game, video game movies, where they kind of go, here's some of the characters. Here's one or two of the characters. We can tease future movies with future characters.
Here's a character we've made up.
They went, you like Street Fighter 2? Here's all of the characters. Every single one of them, no matter how relevant they are to the plot.
select screen.
Exactly.
Crack on.
So, but the plot was campy. The acting was hammy and chewing the scenery. There was zero fights in the street. I noticed that throughout the film. There is no street fighting in the Street Fighter movie. Gunfighting, but no street fighting. There was
And fighting in a temple.
punchy, but no street punchies. But you know what? I didn't hate it. I can't go as far as to say that I thought it was great. I can't go as far as to say I'll ever watch it again, because I won't. But, you know, it was okay. I think the Minecraft movie has softened me up to what a shit film is. So this is the definition of okay. That's where I'd put it, Tim.
Yeah. Do you think IMDb's 4.1 is fair?
Out of 10?
Out of 10.
I don't think it's not fair. I think it's a bit on the low side. But, are we going to score at the end of this, Tim?
Do we ever? No, I don't think so.
We did last time because
we?
it was Minecraft, and I wanted to give it a 1 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
And I edited you saying 1 out of 10, if you remember.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's in the episode, because Tim said Minecraft movie is 1 out of 10. But, you know, if you want my score of this, I think I'd give it like a 5 out of 10.
Yeah. Bang
Very middle
average.
of the road. But yeah, not the worst film I've ever seen by a long stretch.
Cool. Alex, your thoughts?
It is characteristically and unquestionably 90s film.
Yes.
Mhm.
You cannot watch that and go, this is not a 90s film, because it is everything that a 90s film is. As Joey said, it was campy, the actors were chewing the scenery, the special effects were special. They existed in the scene for sure. For example, Bison's lightning fingers looked like a PNG painted over the bloody thing. And I think because we all grew up in the 90s, we were all 2 or 3 when this film released, so we probably watched it some years later when we were maybe too young to be watching a film about kung fu martial artists shooting allegories of the Nazis. We probably shouldn't have been watching it, but we probably did. And I think it almost kicks a bit of nostalgia into you because, like, as you say, like, it harkens back to things like Starship Troopers and those kind of films. I think if you tried to give this film to someone who grew up in the 2000s or the 2010s, they would last about 10 minutes in the film and go, well, no, because there's no lava chicken or 6-7, see you later.
That's why Tim's going to say that he hated it.
It's very much a product of its time. But I wanted to hate it and I didn't like it. I probably wouldn't watch it again. I probably wouldn't have gone out my way to watch it if it wasn't for Tim being Tim and making us watch this. But I can't say that I had a bad time with it. Some bits made me laugh. Couldn't tell you which bits because I've forgotten.
There's one bit that really made me laugh out
But
loud.
there were some funny lines. Oh God, DJ when he's trying to leave and he's like saying how Bison's a bad guy to is it Zangief he's talking? It's Zangief he's talking to, is it? Yeah. He's like, oh, Bison's a bad guy. He's like, well, if you know he's a bad guy, why'd you work for him? He goes, because he's paid me a shit ton of money. And Zangief's just stood there like, you get paid?
Yeah.
Just little, there were these occasional lines that just, I think, because everything else was so mediocre, these occasional lines really catch you off guard.
The one that made me laugh out loud is when the news report of the truck full of bombs heading towards the base, and they all of the bad guys are watching it, and then they turn, and the truck is coming towards them, and they turn back, and they're just watching it on the telly. I thought that was so funny.
Zangief, his only response is to change the channel.
Goes to change the channel.
That was what made me laugh out loud.
That's a phenomenal joke.
So good.
Good.
Zangief was the ultimate comic relief character in the film.
Yeah. What did you
sure.
think, Tim?
As a movie, it's fun. It's dumb, campy fun, and it's really what a Street Fighter movie should be. However, as a Street Fighter fan, it got so much wrong. Felt like, and I feel like a lot of 90s like video game movies did this. Like, I'm particularly thinking about Bob Hoskins' Mario, and I'm not going to besmirch the movie too much because I love that movie.
Don't besmirch that movie at all.
But it feels like they were handed the character select screen for this movie, given the names of the characters, and went, make something up.
Just crack on.
Luigi, he's insulting us again.
No, because like I feel like a lot of like 90s video game movies were very much cash grabs in that.
Yeah.
That they were just like, oh yeah, this thing's popular, make a movie of it real quick. And that's what this probably was, to be honest.
Well, so for context, Street Fighter 2, the arcade game that popularized Street Fighter, had been out for 3 years at this point. So they would have started production on it fairly soon after it got very popular. But
like, for every thing that this film did right, there was about 8 things it did wrong. So, for example, one of the really cool, that's kind of neat things, is that Bison's controller for his electromagnetic floating base thing, I don't know if you guys noticed this, the controller for it was the arcade board from the arcade version of Street Fighter 2, The World Warriors.
Did not know that.
Like really cool little details like that. But then they're just like, yeah, Shadaloo's a country, which it's just A, not in the real world, B, not in the Street Fighter world. Shadaloo is an organization. And like Cammy and Guile in the lore have never worked together. They like Cammy is like a product of the Shadaloo cloning program, and Guile is like a guy with big goofy hair. And Jean-Claude Van Damme had hair, but it wasn't big or goofy. Ryu and Ken weren't like comic relief buddy cop movie characters in Street Fighter.
I will admit, I was sad to not see Guile with a flat top.
Yeah, because that's the Guile look. That's Guile. But it's
Can you
just
imagine
John...
on top of how bad Jean-Claude Van Damme is, can you imagine him with an enormous flat top?
But this film went so far as to put Blanca in the movie in his green skin and orange hair glory.
But then they didn't give Dalsim his long limbs.
Yeah.
Hold on though. Dalsim is something I want to talk about.
Also something I want to talk about. So the scientist that is conducting the experiments under protest, I will add, for M. Bison in the Shadaloo Corporation, which by the way, what's his name? Raul Julia as M. Bison stole the show. He was phenomenal throughout. But the guy who was doing the experiments for him under protest was meant to be Dalsim, and I did not know that. I watched this film yesterday and did not know that was meant to be Dalsim.
So when they first introduced Dalsim, I think there's been a big scene missed or cut out of it, because when they first introduced Dalsim, he's got quite light skin. He's an Indian man, but he's got quite light skin.
Yeah,
doesn't look like Dalsim at all. The next time you see him, he is with Blanca, who has gone on this massive transformation and won't go outside anymore. And he looks like he's doing blackface. He's like totally been blacked up for that scene.
And they've made him bald, and they've made him quite a lot skinnier look. It's almost like they changed actor.
Yeah.
It's that drastic of a difference, and it feels a bit like halfway through the film they went, "Oh shit, Dalsim's not meant to look like that."
But
fix it.
So sorry for spoilers here. Tim, spoilers. Let's do a spoiler
warning for Street Fighter 1994 movie.
You know,
if you've not seen it by now, it's been
years
out
old.
for 32 years. Get on it.
32 years. The very end of the film where we see Dalsim and Blanca. So Blanca is Jean-Claude Van Damme or Guile's best friend, right?
Carlos Blanca, also known as Charlie.
Blanca.
And I thought they were going to do a Charlie Nash reference.
But he's his best friend, right?
Yeah.
And right before they blow up the building at the end, he goes, "I can't face the world anymore." And Dalsim says, "Don't worry, I'll look after you." So they go and hide inside the building that they know is going to explode.
Yeah.
And then the building explodes and collapses. And you'd think that Jean-Claude and Van Damme would go, "My friend was in there. Oh, I'm so sad." But they actually jump in front of and do a freeze frame.
Yeah, they do
front of
a freeze frame.
That freeze frame at the end is the most 90s thing I've ever seen, and it was incredible.
To that freeze frame,
that made me laugh out loud.
To that freeze frame's credit, those poses are based on the Street Fighter 2 victory poses.
But regardless, it's so out of context for everything that's going on around him. He's just watched his best friend get mutated and then killed,
like blown up, not like die like a hospital bed or something. He's been blown to smithereens.
And like you say, there's no sort of like sadness or my friend he died. He comes out and he just goes, "Captain, take a note. I need a vacation."
And then they jump and go,
"Yeah." Can I say the other thing that really got under my skin with this film? It's not fucking Ryu. It's not Ryu, it's Ryu. The only character to pronounce Ryu's name correctly was Bison. Really irked me. But yeah, let's quickly go over the plot. There is a war in the country of Shadaloo. Not a country, but it's a country. And M. Bison is a warlord, and he is trying to make the perfect genetic soldier. Definitely not reference both design and lore-wise to the Nazis, but here we are.
Is that true in the Street Fighter lore, that it is basically Bison and his lot are allegoric to the Nazis?
Yes.
Right.
So, actually, fun fact about Street Fighter lore, by the way, with relation to this movie. When Street Fighter 2 came out, M. Bison and Balrog had their names swapped. So M. Bison was originally called Balrog, and Balrog was called M. Bison. This is because they wanted to put Mike Tyson in Street Fighter 2, and he wouldn't give them permission to use his likeness. So they were like, yeah, we'll change a couple of letters around, it'll be fine. Then he caught wind of this and was just like, change the name or I'm going to sue you. So one game, or rather a movie later, and then several games later, onwards, M. Bison and Balrog names swapped. Anyway, we have a war going on in Shadaloo, and Commander William J. Guile, which I don't think is his name, but whatever, it's Guile. Jean-Claude Van Damme is John America, despite his accent, which was noticeably distracting when he has a giant USA flag tattoo on his arm. Is there in Shadaloo kicking ass and taking names. This sets the scene, and it's all being presented via a news report being presented by Chun-Li Zhang. They gave her a last name. Is Chun-Li a
reporter in...
No. No, she's not. And to answer your next question, Balrog is not a camera operator. He's a boxer.
Are you telling me that Honda isn't a van driver then?
Not only is Honda not a van driver, he's not a Hawaiian man. He's a big Japanese dude.
Good.
So we're off to a flying start. Anyway, this Amdram news reporter group are somehow, for some reason, being watched by M. Bison as like the number one news source for M. Bison related news in Shadaloo.
This is like Trump and Fox News.
It kind of, yeah. And then he hatches a plan to put some hostages in a hole and kill them with a super soldier.
Not a very deep hole.
Not very, very climbable. If only there weren't a lid on it. Basically, they're like in a big jar.
It's like a big saucepan.
Yeah. So he is going, I want to fight soldiers. So there's some captured soldiers for not the UN, the AN, the Allied Nations, because I guess they couldn't call them the UN. But he's like, I will fight this soldier. And then the soldier instantly dies after his spine gets broken. He goes, I want to fight this soldier. And then his spine gets broken and he's dead. And then the news happens to come back on with Chun-Li, and she's trying to interview Guile, and Guile's going, listen to me, you son of a bitch. If you hurt my friend Charlie Blanca, I'll repeat his name, Charlie Blanca. I will hurt you. And the next guy he happens to fight is Charlie Blanca. So instead of killing him, they basically just put him in a big pod and make him watch TV.
Why does that turn him the way that Blanca
I don't
is?
know. It's just
well,
nonsense.
I think it's a thing that had been done in history in the past, where I think it might have been the Russians, and I'm sure someone who knows more about history will tell me I'm wrong, but it was a form of almost not quite mind control, but making people desensitized to the horrors of war. They would just flash like hundreds upon hundreds of
conditioning
images like per minute to sort of overwhelm and desensitize you to the whole thing. And it's obviously part of the idea of building the perfect super soldier.
Meanwhile, all this is going on. Ken and Ryu are just going to an underground fighting rink.
Because why not?
Because why not? And
they're
Vega
bros.
is
Come on.
there. Vega is like the prize fighter in Shadaloo that's definitely not Taiwan. Also, Vega's very much a Spanish man, but okay. So they're here to do some sort of deal. What that is, it's not really clear. But Sagat, who is also one of the characters in Street Fighters, and you'll recognize him by his bald head and eye patch,
And
is
his very
like-
wet-looking skin.
He did have a very wet-looking head.
He looked wet the entire time.
In the game, isn't he like 7.5 foot tall?
He is a giant, and he works for M. Bison as a henchman. He's not an arms dealer in an underground boxing ring. So, who is it? Ken and Ryu, and they fight Sagat, and then they have to have a fight with Vega. And as the fight's about to go down, Guile crashes a tank through the wall and goes, "You're all under arrest." So everyone in the building goes to prison. And Ken and Ryu get into a scrap on the chain gang, and the guards break them up, and it turns out Ken is a master pickpocket because he's stolen the keys, and he lets Ryu and Ken loose, and Sagat and Bison go, "Hey, what about us? We're the villains, but we need out of these chains for plot reasons." So he throws them the keys, and they steal the truck, and they have a gunfight, and Guile
But
gets shot
this
in
was
the
all a plan
stomach.
that was previously organised with
Yeah.
Guile.
Somehow. I don't think they met prior to this because he asked them what their names were at one point in the movie, like a good portion after this. So Guile gets shot in the stomach in a shootout by Ken, and then Ken, Ryu, Sagat, and Vega all go to the Shadaloo base, and there's more scrap in there. And Ken and Ryu get their iconic gi, but it turns out that Cammy and Chun-Li wanted to investigate Guile's body for some reason. Not really sure why. But then Guile sits up and he wasn't shot in the stomach, which poses the question, what if he was shot in the head? Because the whole plan would just fall apart.
He has very, very, very specific placed blood packs.
Yeah.
On this. So what if the guy wasn't aiming at exactly where his blood packs were?
What if Ken
And also,
shot him in the head?
when he removed the blood pack, why was his white shirt underneath completely clean?
Don't know. The blood pack was also just mounted on cardboard by the look of things.
Good.
So he goes, "Haha, I'm not really dead, and I have a super stealthy speedboat with machine guns and missiles on it."
Stealthy.
So the leader of the allied nations comes in and goes, "You are not to attack M. Bison. We're going to give him the hostage money."
Is he the funny British man?
Yeah.
I liked him.
He said, we're going to give M. Bison $20 billion. And
One
then
who comes in is like, "Oh, what, spiff? I tell you what, you better not go after that M. Bison fellow. We're going to pay him the money."
Jean-Claude Van Damme then gives a rousing speech.
better than England. England bad.
Jean-Claude then gives a rousing speech about how their friends died for nothing, and they too can die for nothing if they go with him.
Or they can
something.
go home.
Yeah, or they can
He
go
says so many times, "You can go home." If you were a soldier, you'd be like, "Sweet, thanks. I'll just sit
see
here."
ya.
Yeah, cool. When's the next plane out?
So
Or you can die with Jean-Claude Van Damme like all of your mates have.
there's a whole do you know we've missed the fucking fight at the circus or whatever it was with Zangief and Chun-Li doing stuff.
Well, that happened.
It's something
There you go,
that
it's
happens.
included
Funny
now.
joke. The best joke in the whole movie happens there, but I don't remember why we're there in the first place.
Best joke in the whole movie was the
Was the change the channel.
change the channel.
Phenomenal joke. Then Chun-Li is kidnapped. After the circus scene, along with E Honda.
You sound
and-
so annoyed, Tim.
It's nonsense. It's just plot points, but with nothing between them. So Chun-Li, E Honda, and Balrog are all kidnapped, and they're all tortured. Aside from Chun-Li, who is like, she's like hit on by Bison, but then she just beats the shit out of him. And then when they all break into his bedroom to beat the shit out of Bison, he just gasses them until they fall asleep. Which is an interesting thing to have in your bedroom, but okay.
Why is this a permanent installment?
I don't know, why is it
Don't
on a
worry-
button in a safety room?
Don't worry about it.
So
Why has he got a safety room?
Don't
so-
worry about it.
Cammy and Guile are speeding down the river in a stealth speedboat that's the least stealthy looking thing you've ever seen.
And T-Hawk, don't forget T-Hawk.
Oh yeah, T-Hawk was in the movie, and there's a
Thawk was there, yeah.
Yeah, so T-Hawk was
Hawk
there, and they
tour.
identified T-Hawk about, I don't know, an hour and 15 minutes into the hour and 30-minute runtime. And the only reason they identify him, they go, T-Hawk, what's with the headband? And he said, it makes me fight better, or whatever.
In the game, who is T-Hawk?
T-Hawk is just a Native American man, but he's a giant Native American man fighting for essentially his land. He's not just a cop. So what happens next then? Oh yeah, so they have the super secret stealth mode on the boat, and they deploy the stealth mode and take out 2 of the radar towers that are going to M. Bison's base. Then DJ, who is another one of the World Warriors from Jamaica, says, "Hey, M. Bison, 2 of our radar towers went down." And then M. Bison says, "Why don't you just pull up the camera and show me the river?" And then they can just see the boat.
I'd like to point out, I don't know if it's just me only half paying attention, but did DJ get more and more Jamaican as the movie went on?
Yes.
Like, he started quite sort of a Jamaican that's lived in America for 40 years, kind of.
Hold on,
thing.
Alex.
Like,
Can
just
you-
a
can you-
tinge of the accent, and then...
For our listeners, can you do the accent?
Just in case they
Absolutely
don't know
not.
what that is. That'd be great if you could.
Not touching it. But then
German.
at the end, when he's there with Sagat and they're with the treasure box and they're in the reeds, he's very Jamaican.
What does very Jamaican sound like, Alex?
Tell us.
Like a Jamaican person who's like native to the land and has lived there all their life.
I don't know what that sounds like. You're going to have to tell me.
That's fine.
There's a big siege on M. Bison's building, and they have a big fight, M. Bison and Guile, and he's killed by a kick, it seems.
He gets
Yeah.
kicked into a TV and
He gets
his superconductor electromagnetic speedy space boots explode.
Oh yeah, like there's a whole thing where we thought M. Bison was dead, but then he just has like a titty massager in his jacket, and it revives him.
A
I know-
shiatsu massage thing.
yeah, but it didn't burn his neck like it did mine.
No, instead it pumped him with adrenaline.
So he got up and then he had like electromagnetic boots. And he flew around the base doing very predictable punches. And then Guile kicks him into a TV and M. Bison is dead. Then the factory blows up and then everyone's outside, including Zangief, who sees the error of his ways after he wasn't paid. And DJ and Sagat have fled out through like a sewer tunnel to the other side of a river, only to unveil
They
that
Shawshanked it.
they Shawshanked it, only to find that the box full of money that they were expecting just had bison bucks inside, which were essentially the currency that was meant to be in place after M. Bison took over the world, but obviously that plan didn't go ahead. So
Basically NFTs, aren't they?
they're basically NFTs. They're useless now. And then Jean-Claude Van Damme says, "I need a vacation," and the movie ends. You'll notice there
And
was
Blanca and
and
Dalsim
Dals-
get crushed.
Yeah, they got crushed by a brick or something. I don't know. But you'll notice how I described very little fighting in the movie.
Yeah. The fight scenes were very predictable.
They were very like, oh my god, when I saw Ken do a Shoryuken, which was just he spun in place while punching upwards, and he didn't even leave the ground. He just did a little twirl. I was like, fuck
Yeah.
off. And then Ken did a Hadouken into someone's chest, but there was no projectile. It was just a hit.
That seems canon to me.
Sure. Anyway, as a Street Fighter fan, this film is annoying. As a movie fan, this film is fun. I have no choice but to personally give it like a 4 out of 10
Wow, that's bang in line with
with IMDb.
IMDb. Did you know there was an animated movie of Street Fighter 2 released the same year as this?
There was, and it
that
did
is
much
reviewed
better.
very well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alex, what would you give this out of 10?
I'd like it's like a 4.5 or 5. It's not an offensive movie to watch, but I think if I knew anything about Street Fighter other than haha, I recognize that character's name, I might have been more annoyed by it. But for a dumb, campy 90s action adjacent movie, it's not bad.
Yeah, $35 million estimated budget.
How much did it make?
How much do you think? Closest million wins.
39 million. I think it barely broke even.
Alex?
26.
26 million. So you think it lost?
Uh-huh.
Opening weekend, 700 million. Sorry, 7 million. Jesus.
It's the
Opening
most successful
weekend,
movie of
7
all time.
7 million.
By God.
Gross worldwide, $99.4 million.
This film was a lot more
No.
successful than I thought.
Yeah.
I suppose,
99.4 million.
I suppose, sort of, as I've said before, it was very much a product of its time, and it obviously did well in its time.
And I don't think you understand. I don't think we're kind of expressing how popular Street Fighter 2 was.
Oh, yeah,
And-
no, it was
and
everywhere.
still-
And just by nature of the time, how popular, I suppose, that, like, the early 90s was sort of very much the era of arcade machines and going to the movies for 20 cents and things like that. So I suppose it does. I suppose it
People-
makes sense.
People would have been as excited for this movie as Tim was about Five Nights at Freddy's 2. So
That's true.
unable to contain themselves.
I was practically vibrating in my seat.
Exactly.
Frothing at the mouth for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the vibrating seat.
Guys, who's Christopher Walken going to play in the movie?
Guile.
Yeah. He can't replace Raul Julia as Bison.
Bison was great.
Bison was perfect. Zangief was perfect.
Can we have Christopher Walken as Chun-Li?
That would be fantastic.
It'd be good. I would like that. Christopher Walken as Blanca.
He was in it
Christopher
for about
Walken
8
as
seconds
Zangief.
and then he got crushed.
No, you can't replace Zangief. Zangief was good.
Zangief was
No,
good.
I know, but just imagine Christopher Walken's thin frame trying to hold up that door at the end. Get
Who was-
out.
Andrew Bryansky was Zangief.
Bless you.
Did a good
Alright.
job. You did a good job.
Thank you.
Good.
I mean, the
He
other
wasn't saying you
things-
did a good job, Joey.
No, he said I did a good job. Well done, me. But Street Fighter is the thing he's most known for, apparently.
That makes sense.
So
All right,
Yeah.
good. Well, what's our next cutscenes, gang?
I think it's me.
I think it's you too.
Oh no, we're not
It's-
listening to you two. I can't stand them. The
Yeah,
next cutscenes
yeah,
in
yeah.
4-ish weeks or however long it is good. We're going to do something a little bit different, and we're going to watch Need for Speed because we've not done a racing film.
Yay.
So let's see how that goes.
Let's see how that goes.
Good.
Right. Thanks for taking us through Street Fighter, Tim.
You're so welcome.
I know you loved it.
Yeah. All right, we'll see everyone
You-
next time.
Are you excited for the new one?
I actually am. That looks really
Why
fun.
don't you talk a little bit about the new one? What makes that different to this one?
I think it's because we can see actual characterization already in the trailer that is reflective of the character's lore. We already know that a lot of the people that are involved in the production are big Street Fighter guys anyway. It looks well shot. It looks competently shot. It looks like it looks like good fight choreography from what we've seen. It looks like it's got an actual budget, which I know this film probably did for its time, but good lord, did 1994 Street Fighter film age? But this one looks fun. And like I said at the beginning of this episode, a Street Fighter movie should be campy and fun and dumb, and this is probably what that is going to be.
When is the new
16th of October, it's slated to come out, so tune in towards the end of the year where we will have seen it and we will do an episode on
Yeah,
it.
let's
no
do
doubt.
one of our where we watch it still in cinema and we bring it out quite quickly.
That'll be great.
Absolutely.
That would be good.
Okay, let's do that.
All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you in a week's time for something else. Bye.
Big love. Bye.
Goodbye.
Joey got the popcorn ready. Alex got the notes in hand. Tim's got puns that fly like confetti. They're your go-to movie band. Video game movie club. Laugh until the credits roll. Joey Alex, Tim will dub. Scenes that make you lose control.
By far my favourite one.
Superconductor electromagnets.
Surely
Of
you've heard
course.
of it.